What if the Cold War had actually turned into World War III? It's a scary thought. But what if it didn't involve nukes? Today we explore a terrifying alternate history. The year is 1962. For the last 17 years, the world has been stuck in a standoff between two superpowers. Since the end of World War II, the United States and the Soviet Union have been locked in a battle of ideologies, with the rest of the world caught in the middle. The threat of nuclear war has hung over the world like a dark cloud, but so far, neither side has been willing to take that final step. In our timeline, this standoff would continue for another 26 years until the collapse of the Soviet Union. But what if things had been different? What if the Cold War had turned into World War III? In our timeline, the Cuban Missile Crisis of 1962 brought the world to the brink of nuclear war. But in this alternate 1962, things have been steadily getting worse between the US and the US. Each side has been taking small, almost provocative actions against one another. And finally, the dam breaks. It starts with a Soviet submarine. In our timeline, this is the B-59, which almost started the Cuban Missile Crisis when it was attacked by the US Navy. In this alternate timeline, it actually does start the war. After being damaged by American missiles, the B-59 surfaces and fires its torpedoes at the US Navy ships which had attacked it. It is the first military engagement of the war and the first shots fired since the end of World War II. The US is caught off guard and quickly retaliates against the Soviet Union. Its allies in Europe are immediately put on alert. In the chaos that follows, a NATO general makes a critical mistake. He believes that the war has gone hot and that an invasion of West Germany by the Soviet Union is imminent. As such, he orders his troops to preemptively attack. Within hours, much of Western Europe is a nuclear wasteland. The Soviet Union is caught off guard and quickly retaliates against the West. For the next several days, the fighting continues, with NATO forces pushed back across Western Europe. Soon, the Soviets are at the gates of Paris. It seems as though the western half of the continent is about to fall. But then something unexpected happens. The British and French, who both still possess nuclear weapons, refuse to surrender and fight on alongside the Americans. Although the British nuclear arsenal is much smaller than that of the Soviet Union or the United States, it's still enough to devastate large parts of Russia and Eastern Europe. For the first time, the Russians feel the effects of the war on their own soil. With its cities being devastated by nuclear bombs, the Soviet Union begins to lose steam. Its allies in Eastern Europe are unable to effectively resist the NATO invasion. Before long, the tide of war begins to turn. As the war drags on, the United States, Britain, and France are slowly able to push the Soviets back. By the end of 1962, the fighting had largely settled into a stalemate, with both sides unwilling to back down. The war quickly turns into a long and bloody affair. By the end of 1963, both sides are exhausted and simply want the war to be over. Although both sides claim victory, the fighting gradually winds down. A ceasefire is eventually negotiated, and peace talks begin. The world is left to wonder what will happen next. Will the ceasefire hold, or will the fighting soon resume? Only time will tell. So there you have it, a terrifying alternate history where the Cold War turned into World War III. What do you think? How would a war between the United States and the Soviet Union have played out? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching Parallelish. Please like and subscribe for daily uploads.